students, I'm Madam Joyce from Educare TZ. I'm teaching biology, and here we are going to discuss our topic, that is cytology, whereby in our topic we are going to deal with the subtopic which is called the type C of cells. So we are going to discuss this type C of cells in general. So since we have to remind ourselves on where we end on the previous session, so that we can have the concept on this session. That is, in the previous session, we tried to look on the structure, the general characteristics of the prokaryotic cell, that is the prokaryotic cell, and the structure of the prokaryotic cell. So now we are going to discuss on the function of parts in prokaryotic cell. Je, zile parts ambazo tumeziona zinakuwa na kazi gani? Kila moja inakuwa na kazi yake. But I've told you, ni kama tulianza kuelezea mwanzoni, kazi moja baada ya nyingine. So here tunaendelea kuelezea zile parts muhimu ambazo zinapatikana ndani ya hawa prokaryotic cell na functions zake. So now we are saying that the cell wall of prokaryotic cell provide a structural and protective functions. So cell wall ambayo inapatikana kwenye prokaryotic cell, tulisema how organism they have cell wall, and we have seen the structure or the cell wall, the structure of cell wall. So hile cell wall tunasema kwamba it provide a structural and protective function. So we have tried to explain it in a broader way, that is, this cell inawasaidia, ile structure inawasaidia pale ambapo wakiwa kwenye mazingira tofauti waweze kuhimili. So hii cell wall ndio ambayo inawasaidia to protect them from different kind of environment, so that they can stay safely. So that is the function of this prokaryotic cell. So now, as you can see in our structure, we have this, the structure always present, but also we have the structures always, additional structures sometimes present, sometimes inaweza zikawa hazipo. So now we have this one that is called the cell wall. Now you can see the function of cell wall is just to protect this organism from vulnerable environment. Kwenye mazingira ambayo sio rafiki kwao, wanaweza kusustain, wanaweza kuishi. Kwa sababu gani? It's because of this cell wall helps them to protect. Even if they are in hypotonic or hypertonic, in any kind of host, they can survive because of that cell wall. And we can say that we have another structure which is called the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm of prokaryotes is surrounded by single cell membrane, and all metabolic processes such as protein synthesis, respiration, and replications takes place within the cytoplasm. So cytoplasm inakuwa na kazi kubwa sana within this prokaryotic cell. So now here you can see this is cytoplasm. First, it has been surrounded by a cell membrane. We have seen in this structure, the structure of this cytoplasm. As you can see, the structure of this cytoplasm, all of this environment, this is cytoplasm. So now, this is cytoplasm. It has been surrounded with this cell surface membrane, ndiyo ambayo inaikinga hile cytoplasm. So what is the function of this cytoplasm? So here we have said that the function, or we can say that all metabolic processes such as protein synthesis, respiration, and replications takes place within this cytoplasm. So now you can see it is very simple. Kwamba cytoplasm of prokaryotes, ile cytoplasm inafanya kazi ya metabolic process. Zile metabolic processes zote zina takes place within the cytoplasm. Tukiongelea protein synthesis, there is a ribosome within it, within the cytoplasm. So ile protein synthesis obvious takes place within the cytoplasm. But also tukiongelea respiration, also takes place within that structure. We have also replication that takes place within the cytoplasm. So that is the importance or the significance of cytoplasm within the prokaryotic cell. Also, we have another thing, that is genetic material in the form of a single cell structure located in the specified region within the cytoplasm. So this controls hereditary functioning of the cell. So also within the structure of this organism, they have a DNA. They have a structure ambayo inaitwa DNA. Hii DNA ndio ambayo ina carry this genetic material. And remember, this genetic material, they tend to transfer, or they tend to pass from one generation to another. So thus we can say that this hereditary material, or this DNA or genetic material, they tend to control hereditary functioning of the cell. So all the hereditary function of the cell, they are taking place within the DNA, that is the circular DNA. And also we can say that we have another structure that is called the flagella. That is, we have already seen it. It is found on the upper part of this organism. So now, and we have seen that this flagella, it is additional structure. It can be present into one organism, and another organism it might be absent. So it depends on a species of this prokaryote. So now here you can see this flagellum, the function now. What is the function of this flagellum for those organisms that they have flagella? And now we are saying that the flagellum found in most aquatic and soil bacteria aids in movement by unique process of spinning on the axis like a propeller. So tunasema kwamba this flagella, ile flagella tumesema inapatikana baadhi ya organism. Kwa mfano, wale bakteria wote au wale prokaryote wote wanaopatikana sehemu yenye maji au wanaoishi majini, ndio ambao sasa wanakuwa na hii flagellum. Na hii flagellum ndio ambayo inawasaidia wao kwa movement, kufanya movement mbalimbali kutoka sehemu moja kwenda sehemu nyingine. Unique pia, hii ndio ambayo ina give this organism unique process of spinning on the axis like a propeller. So they use it like a propeller. So I hope you know what is propeller. So now this flagella is work like that. Other days you can be asked, what organ that is found within a prokaryote they work like a propeller? The answer is flagella. And also another thing here, we have pills. We have seen pills in the down part of the structure of this organism, and whereby the structure, this pill, the structure located on the cell wall, helps bacteria to increase the chance of survival by undergoing conjugation or by enabling anchoring it to its host or substrate. So they have pills. The pills that are found, they just like hair-like structure, which are found within, on the outer part of the bacteria. So these pills tunasema kwamba ina increase their survival chance. How? Inawasaidia hao organism to undergo conjugation by enabling anchoring it to its host. Kwa wanaweza kujishikiza vizuri wakiwa kwenye hosti zao au wakiwa kwenye different kinds of environment, because there is this pill, and this pill, remember, is just like an additional structure. We have another structure which is called the mesosome. The mesosome. So the mesosome, which are enfoldings of the cell surface membrane, which act as a sites of respiratory enzymes. So hii mesosome tunasema kwamba they are enfolding of the cell surface membrane. We have seen the enfolding of the surface membrane ndio ambayo inaenda kutengeneza mesosome. Na hii mesosome tumesema ina kazi nyingi sana, kwa sababu ndani ya hii kuna respiratory enzyme. And function of the respiratory enzyme obvious for respiration purpose, or for respiration to occur within this living organism. So this is very important structure to occur within this organism. Say, it simply, we can say that it acts as a mitochondria that is found in eukaryotic cell. This is structure ambayo tunaita mesosome. Also here we have another structure ambayo inaitwa granules of a food. Inaitwa granules. These granules of a food stores as a respiratory substrate. Granules inatumika kama food stores. Yenyewe inatumika kwa ajili ya kutunza chakula pale ambapo wanakuwa na scarcity of food. So this granule, they will use the food that have been stored within this structure. So in this structure is where now you can see whereby the food has been stored in this structure, that is respiratory substrate. So now, my student, you can see the ends of the prokaryotic cell, whereby we have tried to see the granules of the food, we have seen the mesosome, we have seen the enfolding surface membrane, the cell membrane in general, and so on. So now that's all about the structure, the general characteristics, and the structure and the functioning of this prokaryotic cell. I hope now, if the questions come across this section, you will be able now to answer that question, kwa sababu maswali yote yanatokea kwenye hivi ambavyo tumejifunza. So now, my student, stay tuned so that in the next part we will going to discuss this thing or another type of a cell ambayo inaitwa eukaryotic cells. So thank you for your attentively listening.